We got to get to it. Tyvis Powell's reaction to the Buckeyes loss.
We got to do that. We got to do that.
Steve was blowing the chat up today. Nobody was paying him attention. Superstars, producer Steve in Atlanta was going crazy in the chat. It was just him and his Android going crazy. Bro, he had a long text string. We talked about it a little bit. Actually, we had some back and forth about Ryan Day and what's going on. I mean, we had Bull talking about he got to go. Jason Lloyd was jumping off the porch. It was the first time I done seen Jason Lloyd and Jay go at it about Ohio. It was crazy, Tyvis. We got to get to that. To that.
It was. I'll tell you what, bro. I done heard from all the alumni.
I know you did. Everybody text messages is on fire. If I could steal your phone right now, the stuff I was seeing there swiping left. Oh my goodness.
Man, my phone was blowing up, man. It's like y'all act like I'm in charge or something.
Like you was calling the play.
Right.
Like, what happened, Ty? What's going on? You like, listen, I ain't been here in a while.
Man, it's a shame. That's just all I can say about right now. It's really a shame. I mean, just the simple fact that you lost to an interim head coach, man. And then I'm starting to read, obviously as the days go on, more stories come out. They's talking about how. Okay, so let me just dive right into it. My one issue with Ryan Day and this rivalry is he changes things up. Like for example, so last year they got rid of senior tackle. They was like, we're gonna move senior tackle and we're gonna do it during bowl practice. And I'm just like, we just want to be 100% locked in on beating the team up north. And when I heard that, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've been there. We went 4-0 and we didn't change anything. So I don't understand. If you got to be that much more tapped in, then that's a problem. You should be good to go by this. It's the last game of the season. You should be good to go. Everybody should have a routine down. You should be able to know what you're supposed to know about the team and whatnot. I don't think you really need all the extra stuff. There shouldn't be any extra motivation because you should already be motivated enough to win the game. But I let them do their thing. I'm on the outside looking in. I can't really say anything. So they go last year. Obviously, last year happened and it didn't help. This year, during the collective stuff, I kind of reached out, not to him, to just the coaching staff, because we had these, the collective had these Ohio against the world, like crew necks and hoodies and stuff. So I was just asking, one of the guys in there, ask these coaches, can they retweet this, and stuff like that. He said, Tyvis, I've been given a strict order. We can't bother no coaches. Everything this week is all about beating the team up north. I said, I respect that. I respect it. So I fell back. And again, you see what happens. So it's just like you close them off from the outside world to get them to lock in. And we're not seeing no results. If you get back when I played, if you made us close off the world, we probably went 100-0. Right, went 100-0. So I just don't understand what this extra stuff is. And then obviously, you see, like I said, more stories is coming out. It's all about, Coach Ryan Day's talking, or not Ryan Day, Kyle McCord is basically up there talking about, he's like, you can't make mistakes in this game. He's like, y'all should not make any mistakes in this game and stuff like that. And he goes out there and he's the one making the mistakes. So it looks like how do you get to this game and you don't let everything rip? Like, if you're talking about you should be worried about making mistakes, obviously you're gonna play a little passive, you're gonna be a little hesitant. To where when I played, the message was let it rip. If you make a mistake, it better be 1,000 miles per hour. You should be all gas, no brakes the entire game. So I just think it's funny that, you get up in that moment and you tense up. It's like y'all tensed up against them. Like y'all been, and I'm tired of watching them beat down these teams that they supposed to beat down. But then when you get to the teams that's on the same level as you, y'all start playing tight. And I don't understand that. Playing loose is what gets you up. Don't be scared to call certain plays. Like, there should be nothing else you should hold on to. This is like the Super Bowl. Like, you haven't beat them in 2 years. Like, run whatever you need to run. If it's trick plays, whatever you think you have to do, you should be able to win this game. And I just thought it was past. We taking field goals. We not going for it on fourth down in their territory. I thought the defense let up we let a tight end, just multiple tight ends,
just like
they freaking Tony Gonzalez out there. I'm like, what's going on? So it was frustrating to watch.
Let me get to this. What do you see when you played under Urban Meyer, right? And there's levels and there's differences to it. See, people complain about that Urban Meyer stuff and all. Listen, Urban Meyer, different type dude. He not playing around with y'all like that. Mm-hmm. If anything, you was more scared of Urban Meyer than you was of losing to Michigan. When you watch the two different levels at which y'all play, there was times when Urban Meyer was on the sideline, there was no consideration of Michigan ever being in that game. Yeah. And you can't tell me that if Urban Meyer's on the sideline looking across that whole field, 53 and a third, and he sees an interim head coach, do you know what type of edge he gonna play with? Like, what is the difference and why is it that it just doesn't feel like the same type of environment with this matchup?
You know what it is? I mean, it has a little bit to do with football in general today, you know, with the style of coaching that you have to take, not just in football, but with all of them. You know, this generation is totally different. There's certain things that you can't do or say that you maybe could do or say back when I was playing, you know. So it's just a totally different thing. I think the biggest difference to me between Ryan Day and Urban Meyer is this. From the first day on the yard. So my first day on campus was Urban Meyer's first day as head coach. From day one, that man came in there and he laid the law down. Like it's my way or the highway. Like there ain't no, I ain't trying to be your buddy right now. I need you to respect me first. And I think with Ryan Day, it's just more of I want to be your friend. I want you to like me and stuff like that. Like, and I think that at some point, if you have a guy that's a coach that's laid the law down military style, you're gonna fall in line. Like you're not even gonna try to test the waters because he's looking for somebody to make an example out of. Where if a guy is your friend, you know, maybe you'll be like, let me see if I can get away with this. Like that to me was never even a thought in my mind. Like I'm about to try to see if I can get away with doing something like that. Like I don't think that, and I think that today, like that's the thought. Like I'm gonna see how far I can push this envelope and stuff like that. So I think to me, that's the biggest difference. And obviously, you know, I always say, you know, Ryan Day as a man and as a coach, he genuinely like cares about his players. That's one thing I do respect. He cares about his guys. Not to say Urban didn't, because Urban did a lot of things behind the scenes to make sure that you were successful, even if you didn't do it football wise. But with Ryan Day, I think he actually ultimately cares about like your mental health. He cares about your family. He cares about stuff like that. You know, whether you a starter or whether you the last man on the roster, I think he treats everybody pretty much the same. And I respect him for that. However, I think that I still don't think you can win a lot of games like that. I just think that's just my personal preference. But he's easy to root for, and I always cheer for Ryan Day because of the person that he is. You want to see a guy that's a good person, that's ultimately a good dude succeed, and that's just how he has a lot of people thinking.
You know, listen, this matchup. And once again, man, we appreciate you guys out there. 240 people in the building. Tyvis is in the chair right now in the barbershop making his debut, talking a little Buckeyes. When we'll get to the some of the Browns things coming up as well. But really quickly, let me ask you this question. You know, it comes down to the brass tacks. When you talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes, I went to OU. Reality of the situation is Ohio State, they put the "the" in front of it for a reason. They get all the listen. If you go outside and we call it the jersey, if they got that scarlet and gray on, it's a wrap. You're not getting no girls for the night. You're not talking to nobody. They get all the Nike uniforms. They got unlimited gloves, whatever the case may be. It's Ohio State. They pay you big time bucks to beat Michigan, win Big Ten championships, and win national championships. It's Alabama and Ohio State. I could argue Texas is in that mix. I don't think Clemson is quite in that mix either. Is this enough for him to keep his job if he can't beat Michigan? If you can't win, there's 3 in a row, bro.
So this is what I'll say about that. You know, just hearing the alumni and hearing what everybody's saying. No, everybody is pretty much on board for it. They got to make the change. Like that's where I think everybody's at.
That's what the
I think
tea leaves are saying.
I think every former player and every alumni is probably on the like they got to make a change. However, I'm 29 years old. I'm more of I like to assess the whole situation. I don't just look at it as one game. This man still got the number 2 recruiting class. Okay. If you fire this man, do you lose those recruits as well? Because that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
Especially this junior Maserati Marv is supposed to be Jordan himself coming out here to Marvin Myers, his brother.
So I'm like, that's the thing. So if you fire Ryan Day, it affects the recruiting class. It affects everything going forward. Now, if you ask those recruits, like, hey, whether Ryan Day is here or not, would y'all still come here? If the answer is yes, then I think that makes it different. I don't think he gets fired after this season. I don't. I think that now that, because then on top of that, now you're bringing in a new AD, and now you putting his first job is to find a new head coach. So I think that's a lot on the AD's plate, the first job, so I think he's gonna make it this season. I think his seat is hot as ever. I think if he ultimately loses next year, it's over with. Like, I think that before he even make it back to the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, he's probably fired at that moment. So he's got to figure it out. He's got to figure it out.